Hello there, very good evening. This is the weekend edition of Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this evening.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
Valuable Finance was awarded the Best Finance Company for the third consecutive year.
President recommends 6-month extension for the Attorney General. National Convention of the United Republic Front held in Colombo, with many including Chandrika and Maithripala in attendance.
මේ රටට අවශ්‍ය මේ ජනරජයට අවශ්‍ය දේශපාලන ආර්ථික දෙකම එකට යන නිදහස සඳහා වෙන වැඩපිළිවෙලක් කියන එක අපි මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අවධාරණය කළා කියන්න ඕනේ මිත්‍රවරුනි.
No division within the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Duminda Dissanayake clarifies. SLFP's Central Committee meeting called by the Chandrika faction is unconstitutional, Maithripala Sirisena claims.
නීති විරෝධීව ව්‍යවස්ථා විරෝධීව විනය විරෝධීව ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ මධ්‍යම කාර්ය සභාවක් ඇඳවලා තියෙනවා.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa extends another invitation.
ජනතාවගේ ජීවිතේ හොඳ ධනාත්මක ප්‍රගතිශීලී අගේ එකතු කිරීමක ගමනකට ඔබත් ආයෙත්.
Anura Kumara calls for a mass movement with political leadership to change the country.
මෙතන සුමට වෙනස් වීමක් නැහැ. මෙතන අනිවාර්ය ලෙස ප්‍රබල කම්පනයක් සමාජ වෙතත් ආර්ථික වෙසත් එළිය යුතු තිබෙනවා.
Heavy rain reported in many areas. Water levels in the Kalu, Gin and Nilwala rivers rise. 2020 Cricket World Cup kicks off tomorrow.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
Valuable Finance was awarded the Best Finance Company for the third consecutive year.
We're just asked to go before the much-anticipated T20 World Cup cricket tournament. Sri Lankan athletes are firing on all cylinders today, adding victories at the Taiwan Athletics Open to the string of recent successes. Tarushi Karunaratne and the Sri Lankan athletics team have been bringing home wins for weeks, and today is no different.
The Taiwan Athletics Open 2024 held in Taipei, Taiwan, saw Tarushi Karunaratne and Nadisha Ramanayake compete for Sri Lanka in the women's 400 meters race. Tarushi Karunaratne stole the show in the women's 400-meter race, securing first place with a personal best time of 52.48 seconds. This victory marked a personal best for Karunaratne in the 400 meters event. Nadisha Ramanayake also displayed her talent, placing fourth in the same event with a time of 53.93 seconds. Aruna Darshana dominated the men's 400 meters race, crossing the finish line in a dominant 45.82 seconds, securing the gold medal. Gantika Abiratna secured a strong second place finish in the women's 1500 meters race, clocking in at 4 minutes and 24.66 seconds.
The President has proposed a 6-month extension of service for Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has proposed a 6-month extension of service for Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam, according to Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardene. The recommendation has been directed to the Constitutional Council for their approval. Speaker Abeyewardene said that the Constitutional Council will convene next Tuesday to discuss the recommendation. Further actions will be determined following the Council's decision. President's Counsel Sanjay Rajaratnam was sworn in as the 48th Attorney General on the 26th of May 2021.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that Buddhism should be given priority according to the Constitution of Sri Lanka. The President emphasized that the responsibility are assigned to all three branches, the executive, the legislature and the judiciary, and not supporting it is a violation of the Constitution.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that the responsibilities are assigned to all three branches, the executive, legislature and judiciary. The President said that the failure to cooperate with this is a violation of the Constitution. He expressed these views at the inauguration ceremony of the Gurudev Suwa Arana Gilan Bhikkhu Center in Kirivattuduwa, Homagama.
එක තර්කයක් ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා තියෙනවා දැන් ආණ්ඩුවයි ආගමුයි වෙන් කරන්න ඕන එක. ආණ්ඩුවයි බුද්ධ ආගමයි වෙන් කරන්නට උවමනයි.
An argument has emerged advocating for the separation of government and Buddhism. However, considering the legal framework, every citizen in our country has the right to practice the religion of their choice or to hold no religious beliefs at all. Our constitution mandates that any government should accord priority to Buddhism. This responsibility is not solely vested in the government but extends to the state as a whole. Therefore, the support of all three branches of the state, the executive led by the president, the parliament led by the speaker and the judiciary led by the chief justice is essential to uphold this principle. Failure to provide this support goes against the constitution. As members of parliament, we all have taken an oath to uphold the constitution and it is incumbent upon us to adhere to its principles. Despite the conflicts experienced in our country, such a request has never been raised before or discussed. It is essential to recognize that the three branches of the government, the executive, the legislature and the judiciary should prioritize the Buddhist doctrine within our nation. If there is a desire to amend this principle, it must be done through constitutional amendments.
මේක රට බෙදන්න බෑ. භෞමික අඛණ්ඩතාවය. ඉතින් මේ පදනම් කරගෙන තමයි අපි ඉදිරියට යන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මේ එකකට හරි විරුද්ධව කතා කරොත් අන්න එහෙනම් ඒක ව්‍යවස්ථාව උල්ලංඝනය කිරීම.
The Election Commission will be empowered to proclaim the date for the presidential election in 46 days.
The National Convention of the United Republic Front was held in Colombo today. A group including leader of the United Republic Front, Partly Champika Ranawaka, and other opposition political figures were in attendance. The National Convention was held under the theme Deshiya Venuwen Ekwana Piyavarak, loosely translated to a united step for the country.
සියලු දෙනාටම ආයුබෝවන්. එක්සත් ගණරාජ්‍ය පෙරමුණ.
Former Presidents Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga and Maithripala Sirisena, along with General Secretary of the SJB Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, SJB MP Ziran Vikramaratne, Dr. Harshini Silva and Anura Priyadarshana Yapa attended the National Convention of the United Republic Front in Colombo today. Mano Ganesan, Dayasiri Jayasekara, Rajita Senaratne, AHM Fauzi, Minister Dr. Susil Premajanta, Lasantha Lagiyawanna, Duminda Disanaika, Dallas Alha Perumal, Professor Charita Herat and others were also in attendance.
අප ගැන විවේචනයක් තිබුණා. අපට ප්‍රතිපත්ති තියෙනවා, දැක්ම තියෙනවා, වෘත්තීය වේදීන් ඉන්නවා. හැබැයි රට පුරා දිවයන ජාලයක් අපිට නැහැ. අපට මිනිස්සු නැහැ කියලා අපට චෝදනාවක් තිබුණා. අද අපි පෙන්නලා දීලා තියෙනවා.
Our critics say we have policies and professionals but lack a nationwide network. They accuse us of having no people. Today we are proud to be here and ready to tackle the challenges. Our greatest challenge is freeing the country from crippling debt and regaining our lost sovereignty. We need to transform Sri Lanka into a truly open republic. This debt can't be postponed forever. We cannot afford to let our children suffer once again. Whoever takes office is responsible of settling the debt. Before the International Monetary Fund Board of Directors meet on the 15th of June, we need to reach an agreement on repaying this debt to secure the next tranche. There is no alternative. Some claim this president's approach is the only solution. Yet, the culprits behind this crisis remain unaccountable, while the poor shoulder the burden of unpaid taxes. Just like organized crime, a political underworld exists here. We see attempts to build a state within a state. Similar to South American drug cartels, Sri Lanka needs a general political overhaul, not just a power shift between classes. What this country needs today is a program that liberates both our political sphere and the economy. This program is essential for our republic's future. If we cannot repay the debt and provide essentials to the people, there will undoubtedly be social unrest. The people will not tolerate being exploited again. We are currently engaged in a national debate. We have presented a program that is open for public discussion and we welcome your participation. We have successfully made Colombo a city that isn't often flooded. It is a city that is generating electricity with waste. With 3 more years, we are confident we could eliminate all slums in Colombo. Remember, When diesel was 95 rupees and petrol was 134 rupees, now the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and other institutions are profitable. We provided electricity at a rate of 15.1 rupees per unit and ensured nationwide access. We stand before you today as a group that has delivered on its promises. We extend our hand of brotherhood to all progressive forces, regardless of political affiliation, who are not beholden to corruption. Together we can not only free this country from the corrupt political underworld, but also build a free and prosperous nation.
පරිත්‍යාගයක් කරන්න එක්සත් ජනරජ පෙරමුණ සූදානම්ය කියන පණිවිඩය ඔබට ලබා දෙමින් ඔබට ජය වේවා අපගේ මාතෘ භූමියට ජය වේවා කියා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් මම නිහඬ වෙනවා.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party Delegate Summit was held today under the chairmanship of former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. It was decided there to convene the Central Committee of Sri Lanka Freedom Party and also summon the electoral organizers. The national organizer of the SLFP also expressed his views.
There is no split. We are all united. We have summoned the party's Central Committee and electoral organizers for a meeting tomorrow. The future president will be chosen with the intervention of the SLFP. The SLFP will be taking the lead.
Former chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Maithripala Sirisena, said that the Central Committee meeting convened tomorrow by the faction led by Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga is unconstitutional.
දැන් හෙට අපේ පක්ෂයේම ඊටාම සුළු පිරිසක් ඒගොල්ලන් නීති විරෝධීව ව්‍යවස්ථා විරෝධීව විනය.
Tomorrow, a faction of the SLFP will unethically and unconstitutionally convene a meeting of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party's Central Committee along with the electoral and district organizers. This action is a clear violation of party rulers and the law. The Central Committee meeting will appoint new organizers. It is crucial to clearly communicate that these actions by the faction are unconstitutional, illegal and unethical. Our party members, electoral organizers and district organizers across the country need to understand this situation. The group has already filed a lawsuit. We will accept any decision made by the court.
Maithripala Sirisena said that the crisis with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party can be resolved before the presidential election in October.
ඔක්තෝබර් මාසේ මැතිවරණ ජනාධිපතිවරණ තියන්න ඕනේ.
පැහැදිලිවම ඔක්තෝබර් මාසේ ජනාධිපතිවරණයක් තියෙනවා.
ඊට කලින් මේක සමතිකර පත් කරගන්න පුළුවන් වේද?
අපි උත්සාහ කරනවා. අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා ඒක අපිට පුළුවන් කියලා.
What is the SLPP's stance on the proposal to delay elections? SLPP national organizer Namal Rajapaksa expressed these views.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොජ්ජන පෙරමුණ විදියට අපි පැහැදිලිවම මේ රටේ මැතිවරණ සිතියම හකුලා දාන්නට අපි විරුද්ධයි. අපි එදා
The SLPP is completely against interfering with the electoral map. We were against the delaying of the provincial council elections. To date, there is no provincial council system in the country. Then they delayed the local government election. Our party is against the delaying of elections. The election must be held on time.
අපි වෙලාවට මැතිවරණ තියන්න ඕනේ කියන දැඩි ස්ථාවරය අපි ඉන්නවා. බැටි රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයා සමග රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා සාකච්ඡා කරලා මේ ඡන්දේ ජනාධිපතිවරණය නැතුව මහ මැතිවරණය ගේන්න හදනවා කියන තමයි කතාව යන්නේ. ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය වශයෙන් ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති කාරණා අපිට විරුද්ධ වෙනවා.
We oppose things we believe are wrong. As a matter of principle, as you've likely seen in the recent news, President Mahinda Rajapaksa has criticized our party's performance as the ruling party. We'll discuss as a party our approach to future elections.
දිරියේදී මැතිවරණයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි පක්ෂ විදිහට තීන්දුව ගමු.
At a media briefing convened by the Samagi Chana Balawege today, it was emphasized that the SLPP leadership pursues a double standard by supporting the government's actions in parliament while publicly opposing them.
පල් බොරුකාරයෝ ටිකක් නේ ඔය හැමදාම මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාවල
You are a bunch of liars. They blame them during media briefings and support them in parliament. They say that they are against delaying the elections. Did you go to court? Local government elections are now postponed. Local government elections should have been held years ago. Regardless of what they say at media briefings, they are working together. Sagar Karyavasam, Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mahinda Rajapaksa, they are all the same. They work together every night.
එකයි රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ උත් එකයි මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මුත් එකයි ඔය ඔක්කොම එකයි. අර ඒ ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ එකට කතා බහ වෙලා රැට රැට.
Meanwhile, leader of the Maubima Janatha Party, Dilip Jayavira, expressed these views.
අපිට ඕන ඔබත් මමත් රැවටුණු දේශපාලනයෙන් මිදෙන්නට. මමත් පෞද්ගලිකව අවුරුදු 30ක් උත්සාහ කරා විවිධ දේශපාලන කණ්ඩායම් එක්ක කටයුතු කරලා.
We want to free ourselves from the politics that fooled us all this time. I myself for 30 years attempted to work with various political factions to create a brighter future for our future generation and children. I have been with the JVP twice. I used to be a believer of Marxism. I joined them to work on the Dahasak Mahavav concept. Not one tank was built. I also worked with various other political factions to send home the current president. In 2004, our current president was Prime Minister and treaties were being signed to kill our war heroes. We launched the Rata Perata campaign and sent him home. In 2005, we launched the campaign Alut Sri Lankavak to bring Mahinda Rajapaksa to power to end the civil war in the country. There was a flower bud used in that campaign. That is why I say that I drew it with my own hands. And finally, we decided to bring Gotabaya Rajapaksa to power only with good intentions. He immensely disappointed us. He shattered our hopes. Now that the SLPP has attached itself to Ranil Wickremesinghe, the leader who was always rejected by the country. How this is a match? All they think about is selling off state resources. Can we join Ranil Wickremesinghe to cross his wine bridge? Now he's saying that we have come halfway along the wine bridge and that he will guide us alone the rest of the way. It will be like committing suicide. Now there is an American citizen, Basil Rajapaksa, on one side. On the other side is the leader we once loved and now sympathize, Mahinda Rajapaksa. Namal Rajapaksa is also around. His is a country owned by a single family. At least put some other face in front as well. They do not even have that much shame.
අඩුම ගානේ තව කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක්ගේ මූණක් දාලා බැරිද කරකවන්න ඕක ලැජ්ජාවට නෑ ලැජ්ජ නෑ.
Leader of the National People's Power, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, says that a mass movement with political leadership is necessary to change the country. He made this statement addressing the National Summit of National People's Power engineering professionals. Engineers representing various fields, university professors and academics attended the event.
මේක වෙනස් කරන්න නම් මේ ආර්ථික දෙයටත් මේ සමාජ දෙයටත් ප්‍රබල කම්පනයක් ඇති කළ යුතු තිබෙනවා.
A mass movement with political leadership is necessary in order to make a change in the country and completely reverse the system currently in place. We have no scope beyond the tea, rubber and coconut that the British left behind for our leaders. Sri Lanka is one of the 4 highest earners from the tea industry. Saudi Arabia earns $113 billion from oil. India earns $150 billion through the IT industry.
ඉන්දියාවේ IT කර්මාන්තයේ ඩොලර් බිලියන 150යි.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa invited political parties of the opposition to join forces to serve the people of Sri Lanka instead of limiting themselves to just blowing their own trumpet.
සමහරු අපෙන් ප්‍රශ්න කරනවා ඔය කරන වෙනස්කම් ඔය මහා අධ්‍යාපන පාසල් සංවර්ධන වැඩ කටයුතු කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා.
Some people are questioning whether the proposed changes can be implemented in the development of higher education institutions. They limit themselves to just boasting, holding political circuses and slandering others who actually work. You can ask that from those who have been working in the opposition for 76 years. We are not the ones to ask. We have a proven track record of service, including a first ever focus on health education. Let me be clear, government funding alone is insufficient to develop a robust education system. We have developed innovative concepts that go beyond traditional models instead of hypocrisy or jealousy in these difficult times. Let's work together. We invite the other opposition parties to join us in serving the people. Together we can create a positive and progressive path for the betterment of all.
ජනතාවගේ ජීවිතේ හොඳ ධනාත්මක ප්‍රගතිශීලී අගේ එකතු කිරීමක ගමනකට
Opposition leader Sajid Premadas expressed these views while attending an event to provide smart classroom equipment under the 214th phase of the Sakvala program to the Ambagahena Mahavidyalaya in Hambantota. A donation was also made to the School Development Fund.
As Sri Lanka grapples with the tense political climate, farmers on the left bank of the Galloya irrigation system are facing a different kind of a struggle, a lack of essential fertilizer for their crops. These farmers voiced their concerns at a meeting of the Galloya Left Bank Agrarian Committee.
Many officials linked to the agricultural sector as well as agrarian leaders were present at the meeting. The farmers pointed out that they are facing many difficulties due to the delay of the fertilizer allowance.
එතකොට තාක්ෂණික උපදෙස් සපයන අපේ මේ මහත්ය මම ගෞරවයෙන් අහන්න කැමතියි වී වගාවට අඩුම ගානේ මඩ පොහොර ටික ගන්න දුන්නේ නැහැ පළවෙනි යූරියා මුරේට සල්ලි වැටුන්නේ නැහැ දෙවෙනි යූරියා මුරේට සල්ලි වැටුන්නේ නැහැ MOP බණ්ඩි පොහොර ටිකටවත් මුදල් මේ වෙනකොට වැටලා නැහැ 130යි එතකොට MOP වී වගාවට කොයි වගේ කාලෙකදී වැටෙන්න ඕනේ.
Meanwhile, the Agrarian Development Department said that 211 million rupees has been deposited in farmers' bank accounts for them to purchase fertilizer for the Yala season. The department said that accordingly, funds have been distributed within the Ampara, Anuradhapura, Hambantota, Kurunagala, Polonnaruwa and several other districts. However, this is what farmers of Ampara had to say.
එතකොට දැන් කුෂිකර්ම අමාත්‍යාංශයේ අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරයෙක් කියනවා ආදායම අඩු වෙන්න හේතුව තමයි ගොවියෝ බණ්ඩි පොහොර පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැති MOP පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකින්ද කරල ටිකක් පුංචි ඇට බෝල් කිනිති කඩා වැටෙනවා. ඒක නිසා මේක දෙන්නේ බණ්ඩි පොහොර ගන්න කියලා. අපි දන්න විදිහට 35 45 අතර MOP යොදන්න ඕන. ඉතින් MOP යොදන්න කොහොමද? මුදල් ටික වැටිලත් නැහැ තාම.
News First with the people.
The Department of Examinations said that this year 64.3% of students who sat for the advanced level examination have obtained university admissions.
Thasun Rithmika Vithanage from Richmond College Gaul secured the top spot in the art stream, demonstrating exceptional academic prowess. Pahanma Upanilanora, a student of Sangamitha Balika Vidyalaya Gaul, emerged victorious in the biology stream this year. Shahani Navodaya of Ginigathena Central College achieved the highest national ranking in engineering technology. Chirat Niroda, representing Ananda College Colombo, secured the island's top position in the physical science stream. Shahara Situmini Punchiheva, a student of the Panadura Balika Mahavidyalaya, clinched first place in the commerce stream this year. Kirulu Sihildia Palliyaguru, a student at Ahaliyagoda Central College, secured the top spot in the emerging field of biosystems technology. A total of 269,613 students sat for the exams held between the 4th and the 31st of January 2024.
A total of 10,484 candidates passed this exam by obtaining A's in all three main subjects they sat for. We have withheld the results of 190 candidates. Among the 6 subjects, Biosystems Technology boasts the highest pass rate for university entrance at 76.21%. The Northern Province recorded the highest overall pass rate of 68.77%. Unfortunately, 27,970 candidates failed all subjects.
The Commissioner General of Examinations elaborated on accessing exam results and recorrection process.
onlineexams.gov.lk කියන ඒ සම්බන්ධයට පිවිසිලා ජූනි 5 වෙනිදා සිට ජූනි 19 වෙනිදා දක්වා මේ නව සමීක්ෂණය සඳහා යෙදුම් කරන්නට පුළුවන්.
Minister of Education Dr. Susil Premajayantha expressed optimism about returning to normalcy in conducting examinations next year.
The 2023 A-level results just released. 2024 A-level exams will be held in November this year, starting in mid-December. Beginning in 2025, both the ordinary level and advanced level examinations are expected to resume as their pre-COVID schedule. Advanced level classes will commence immediately shortly after the conclusion of the ordinary level exams next year.
නිශ්චිත දවස්වල පැවැත්වීමට හැකියාව ලැබෙනවා. COVID-19ට පෙර තිබූ තත්ත්වය වගේම.
The highly anticipated 9th edition of the T20 World Cup cricket tournament ignites tomorrow, co-hosted by West Indies and the United States.
The ICC T20 World Cup.
Cricket fans around the world unite as the 9th edition of the T20 World Cup kicks off tomorrow. This year's tournament marks a historic moment with the West Indies and the United States co-hosting the event. It's a first for the United States, a nation relatively new to the sport, but one that receives the World Cup mandate due to its co-hosting role. 20 teams will vie for the coveted title, participating in preliminary rounds divided into 4 groups A to D. Cricket powerhouses like the current champion England, Australia, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Afghanistan will be present. This year also welcomes debutants, the United States, Canada and Uganda, injecting fresh energy and diverse strategies to the competition. Sri Lanka, led by Banindu Hasaranga, will battle it out in Group D. The tournament kicks off with a fiery clash between the host United States of America and Canada tomorrow at 6 a.m. local time, taking place at the Grand Prairie Stadium in Dallas, Texas. ICC cricket rights in Sri Lanka up until the end of 2025 have been awarded to MTV Channel Private Limited. MTV will exploit the broadcast rights via TV1, Shakti TV and Sirasa TV. These channels, catering to all 3 main languages in Sri Lanka, will bring you the live matches with expert commentary powered by cutting-edge technology at the state-of-the-art Stein Studios. Sirasa TV aired a special program this morning featuring veteran cricketers and commentators, setting the stage for an unforgettable tournament.
Our bowling attack can be a source of surprise for opponents. However, we need a solid opening partnership and a strong start with the bat. Especially in the first 6 overs of most matches, fielding plays a crucial role. Strong fielding support is essential. Ultimately, winning a big match will boost our confidence significantly. As a team, we don't have to be pressurized. We don't have the same weight of expectation as teams like India and Australia. Everyone expects them to win, so they are under immense pressure. We can play freely without the burden of those expectations. We fight hard to win, but we can enter the tournament with a clear mind. Forget the pressure and start fresh. Like a non-major tournament, if we can play to our full potential and climb the ranks, then we can surprise everyone and achieve great things.
One day more.
Agalabatta in Matugama recorded the highest rainfall in Sri Lanka in the past 24 hours, receiving a staggering 264.5 millimeters. The Department of Meteorology has issued a warning notice for possible heavy showers in the southwestern part of the island. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces, along with some areas in the Galle, Matara and Nuwara districts.
In the past 24 hours ending at 8:30 a.m. this morning, Balallavita in Matugama has been hit by heavy showers, recording a total of 240 millimeters. This downpour has caused significant flooding. The Dul Alla area in the Kalabellava Agalabatta road has been inundated. Some low-lying lands and houses in Agalabatta have also been inundated. Due to the heavy rains, approximately 30 houses and roads in Balipanna, Matugama have been flooded. The District Disaster Management Centre said that 4 houses in Palindanuara and Balalavita Divisional Secretariat divisions sustained damage from landslides triggered by the heavy rains. A mound of earth collapsed on a house in Balalavita Matugama this morning, injuring one person who was taken to the hospital. The Irrigation Department warns that the water levels of the Kalu, Ging and Nilvala rivers are rising again due to the significant rainfall in the past 24 hours within the surrounding river basins. Residents living near these rivers are advised to exercise extreme caution. The Met Department advises the naval and fishing communities to avoid sailing in the southeast and southwest Bay of Bengal sea areas until further notice due to the possibility of strong winds and heavy rains associated with the active southwest monsoon weather. Meanwhile, landslide warnings are currently in place for several districts including Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Ratnapura, Colombo, Kalutara, Kegaul and Kurunagala.
Today on World Reef Awareness Day, we turn our attention to a serious threat facing one of Sri Lanka's most treasured natural wonders, the Pigeon Island coral reef.
Nestled off the east coast near Nilabeli, Pigeon Island boasts a vibrant coral reef teeming with life. This eastern jewel, known for its stunning coral reef and thriving marine life, faces a serious threat. Invasive corallimorpharians. Located 2.2 kilometers off the coast of Nilabeli, Pigeon Island has been a major tourist attraction, generating significant income for Sri Lanka since its designation as a marine national park in 2003. However, the main coral reef and snorkeling area, stretching 420 meters on the island's southern side, is under siege. These invasive corallimorpharians, brown, fleshy creatures, smother and kill the delicate corals. Experts point to the boat route to the island as a major culprit.
Invasive species animals are growing on the coral. The main reason for that, the boats which take the tourists into the island, and the reef, the boat route is situated across the main reef. Therefore, the kerosene oil mixed with the water and it's make home for the invasive species. The corallimorpharians are main invasive species in the sea.
The Organization for Aquatic Resources Management is calling for action, proposing to relocate the landing site.
To solve this problem, actually we can do special one thing, the practical action. We can convert the fuel boats into electric boats. That's the best thing we can do. It will give the 100% answer to this problem. So until we convert the boats into electric boats, we can have another ferry or entrance from the left hand side. That means from the western end of the island. Then the water current doesn't pass through the reef with the polluted water.
The impact is evident. The main water current flows from the island's east, carrying the polluted water westward directly over the main reef. This has caused a decline in fish species, particularly those that rely on staghorn coral for shelter and breeding. Pigeon Island's coral reef is a vital part in Sri Lanka's natural heritage and economic well-being. By taking decisive action, we can ensure that this underwater paradise continues to thrive for generations to come.
Valuable Finance was awarded the Best Finance Company for the 3rd consecutive year.
Sipetco, Lanka IOC and Sinopec reduced the prices of several petroleum products with effect from midnight yesterday. However, the question remains, will public transport fares, especially bus fares, also be reduced? Here's a look.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation reduced prices of several petroleum products with effect from midnight yesterday. 92-octane petrol was reduced by 13 rupees to 355 rupees. Lanka auto diesel was reduced by 16 rupees to 317 rupees. Kerosene was reduced by 13 rupees to 202 rupees. The prices of 95-octane petrol and super diesel remain at 420 rupees and 377 rupees per litre respectively.
ඒකේ ඉතින් ඡන්දෙට දෙන ආත්තලියත් දන්නේ ඉතින් මොනවාද දන්නේ ඉතින් ඒ වුණාට ඉතින් ඡන්දේ ඉතින් අපි මේ පාර ඉතින් කල්පනා කරලා තමයි දාන්නේ ඊයේ පාර වගේ බූරුව වගේ දාන්නේ කවුරු හොඳට රට කරන්නේ එයාට දෙනවා ඔරුන්ට විතරක් දෙන්නේ එච්චරයි
ලොකුවටම වැඩි වෙලා එකපාරටම රුපියල් 13ක් අඩුනා කියලා මේ ලොකු අඩුවීමක් නෙමෙයි.
Will there be a change to bus fares? The National Transport Commission has announced that bus fares will not be reduced despite the price reduction of diesel. NTC Chairman Shashi Velgama said that despite the price of diesel reducing on two separate occasions, the total percentage decrease amounts only to 2.8%. According to the NTC, a minimum decrease of 4% is required before a reduction in bus fares can be implemented. Velgama did clarify that an annual bus fare revision is still scheduled for this month. The revision will not solely focus on the decrease in diesel prices. Instead, it will take into account a total of 12 factors, including a reduction in the cost of bus spare parts, alongside the decrease in the price of diesel. What do private bus operators have to say?
මේක සිද්ධ වෙන්නම ජාතික ප්‍රතිපත්තියට අනුකූලව තවත් මාසකින් මොකද බස් ගාසු ජාතික ප්‍රතිපත්තියට අනුකූලව වර්ෂයකට එක් වතාවක් පමණක් සංශෝධනය කරන සංශෝධනය ජූලයි 1 වෙනිදා එනවා. තවත් රුපියල් 20කින් 30කින් ඩීසල් ලීටරයක මිල අඩු වුණොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් බස් ගාසු අඩු කිරීමකට අපිට ජූලි 1 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට යෑමේ හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ අඩුවීම අපි ගණන් බැලුවොත් එහෙම රුපියල් 2ක වගේ අඩුවීමක් තමයි සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. ජූලයි 1 වෙනිදා ඒ ගාසු ඒ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය ජූලයි මාසේ 3 වෙනිදාට ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න කටයුතු කරන්නේ. දවස් දෙකක් පස්සට දානවා අපි. මේ අඩු කිරීමේ ප්‍රතිශතය ජනතාවට ප්‍රතිලාභයක් විදිහට ලබා දෙන්න අපි කැමතියි.
However, three-wheeler taxi operators claim that they cannot reduce the fares. In addition, chairperson of All Island School Children Transport Association, Malsiri De Silva, also echoed the same, citing the high prices in vehicle spare parts.
Sri Lanka police said that Osman Gerald, who was arrested, will be detained and interrogated for 72 hours. He was arrested in Colombo in a joint operation by the Terrorism Investigation Division and the Criminal Investigation Department under the suspicion that he handled the group of Sri Lankans said to be linked to the ISIS arrested in India.
Osman Gerard was arrested in Colombo in a joint operation by the Terrorism Investigation Division and the Criminal Investigation Department. The 46-year-old suspect is a resident of Tematagoda. Police recently sought help from the general public and announced a reward of 2 million rupees to any individual who provides information about Osman Gerard. On the 20th of May, 4 Sri Lankans were arrested by the Gujarat Anti-Terrorist Squad at the Ahmedabad airport in India, claiming that they are linked to the ISIS.
What is this ISIS issue?
While the Indian Lok Sabha elections dominated the headlines, another critical story emerged on the 20th of May, grabbing national media attention. The news involved the arrest of 4 Sri Lankan nationals at Ahmedabad airport by Gujarat's anti-terrorist squad, and they were suspected of having links to the ISIS. According to the Hindu newspaper, these individuals were members of the National Tawhid Jamaat, the group responsible for the Easter Sunday attacks in Sri Lanka. Indian media further reported that the arrested suspects revealed receiving instructions to target specific groups, including Jews, Christians, leaders of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, and the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, the BJP's ideological parent organization. Authorities believe they plan to carry out attacks in India under the direction of Abu, an ISIS leader based in Pakistan.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Maldives will undertake an official visit to Sri Lanka next week.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Maldives, Musa Zamir, will undertake an official visit to Sri Lanka from the 3rd to the 6th of June. During this visit, the Maldivian Foreign Minister is scheduled to pay courtesy calls on President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The Foreign Minister of the Maldives and his delegation will also have official bilateral discussions with Foreign Minister Ali Sabri during the visit at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Foreign Minister Zamir will be accompanied by senior officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Maldives.
Shifting your attention to international news. India today voted in the last phase to decide the fate of 904 candidates competing for 57 seats as the staggered election that started in April comes to a close.
India voted today in the final phase of a long-drawn general election held in record summer heat in many parts as both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his challengers said they would win the polls. Which nearly 1 billion people were eligible to cast their ballots, began on the 19th of April and will end with polling in the last 57 seats, including in Modi's constituency in the Hindu-holy city of Varanasi. More than 100 million people are registered to vote across 8 states and federal territories today, including in the northern state of Punjab and the eastern state of Bihar, West Bengal and Odisha. Meanwhile, scorching summer temperatures with unusually high heat waves have compounded water fatigue in the majority Hindu country of 1.4 billion people, where unemployment and inflation are the main concerns for voters. Nearly 24 election officials died of suspected heat stroke in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh ahead of the vote on Friday.
In developments coming in from the South Africa elections, with more than 97% of votes counted, results show the ruling ANC will lose its majority and be forced to seek coalition partners.
With more than 97% of the ballots counted, the ruling African National Congress, or the ANC, is leading with just over 40% share of the national vote, 3 days after the country voted in national elections that could throw up the biggest challenge to the ANC's political dominance since the end of the apartheid in South Africa. The Democratic Alliance, or the DA, the country's principal opposition party, is currently in second place, followed by the MK party and the EFF. The ANC is ahead in 7 out of South Africa's 9 provinces. It is at more than 50% in vote counts in 5 of those. Limpopo 74%, the Eastern Cape 64%, Northwest 59%, Free State 53% and Mpumalanga 52%. In the Northern Cape 49% and Gauteng 36%. The ANC currently leads with the plurality of the votes but might need coalition partners to form governments. The opposition DA is on track to continue to govern the Western Cape with 53%, which it has done since 2009. And in KwaZulu-Natal, former President Jacob Zuma's MK party has the highest number of votes at some 46% ahead of the ANC with only about 18%. This year, with one more ballot to count, verifying results may take longer. The Electoral Commission of South Africa says it will announce election results tomorrow.
Donald Trump's campaign announced that he had raised nearly $53 million in the last 24 hours after his felony conviction.
Donald Trump's campaign said it has raised nearly $53 million in online small dollar donations after he was convicted in his New York hush money trial, boasting that the verdict had galvanized his support like never before. The record haul was equivalent to more than $2 million raised per hour. Senior campaign aides said in statements that more than a third of the total came from new donors to the campaign and hailed an outpouring of support from patriots across the country. The one-day haul was significantly more than the $4 million Trump raised when his mugshot was released in 2023 after his booking in Atlanta for his indictment there.
Sri Lanka's thriving tourism industry gets a new addition with the opening of Varaka Udawalawa's latest luxury hideaway. More on this is on tonight's edition of the Corporate Brief.
Varaka Udawalawe Hotels by Thema Collection, a renowned hospitality brand, celebrated the grand opening of its latest luxury hideaway in Udawalawe. Varaka Udawalawe Hotels, a renowned hospitality brand, celebrated the grand opening of its latest luxury hideaway in Udawalawe. Adding a heartwarming touch to the ceremony was a special adoption and naming event held at the Elephant Transit Home in Udawalawe. Barakau Udawalawe played a key role in this initiative, demonstrating its dedication to wildlife conservation efforts in the region. The event was attended by Acting Ambassador of Japan to Sri Lanka, Kotaro Katsuki.
One of the most important industries in this country, tourism. And the other, I think, is sustainability. There are many ample reasons to why foreigners like to come to Sri Lanka. And I think being here explains it all. We are also trying to be of some kind of help to boost the tourism sector, because what we witnessed 2 years ago, basically it was caused by a shortage of foreign currency.
The LOLC Divisavya program dedicated to empowering Sri Lanka's future generation successfully completed day 16 of its third phase today.
Day 16 of the third phase of the LOLC Divisavya program, which is being carried out for the betterment of Sri Lanka's future generation, got underway today. Under the Divisavya program, exercise books and stationery equipment required for 1 year are distributed free of charge to government schools with less than 150 students. Today's program was centered around the Kakirava Zonal Education Office of the Anuradhapura district. Accordingly, school bags and stationery equipment were donated to students of the Ambulgaswava College, Telambiyagama College, Dambevatana College, Ranava Primary School, Dikvan College at the Kakirava Regional Education Office this morning. The LOLC Divisavya program continues to forge ahead for the future generation of Sri Lanka.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst, where the people come first, I'm Martin Sathines, and you take care and good night.